Hi guys, Yacca here. So I have a really, I think a really nice early game deck for you guys, which has been working quite well for me in this expansion as it is right now. The deck is a Warlock build, and as I talked a little bit about before, is that this would probably be a good deck in the beginning stages. The Warlock archetype hasn't been doing all that well, but since I played this month, it's been doing quite okay for me. I've been winning, if you see here, 68% of my matches. There's a few different iterations in there where I tried a sea giant, I tried a flesh giant, and I settled on the flesh giant for this build, but it kind of plays in the same way. So I played 31 games in total. I won 21 of those. So a good win rate when it comes to the stats as it is right now. It will be lower as I start to play and as people start to get more refined decks in the new meta. But right now it seems like it's doing fine. On the matchups, I've been losing completely against Tempo Demon Hunter or Demon Hunter because they're simply too aggressive on the board. Other than that, it's kind of it's more or less, as you can see, green across the board, except that they're still struggling a little bit against Mage, Rogue, and Shaman. Those are kind of 50-50 matches. I would say against the Shaman, I do think that it's more in your favor. It's just the way that the match has been sorted out when you started to play. If they get a really nuts start, then it's not something that you can really keep up to. But it's. So I would say that that's probably a little bit more favored, and I just didn't have that many games against Shaman yet. So a real solid deck, but it takes a bit of maneuvering to learn your way around this deck. I will show you the deck as I'm playing with it here. So it is a Zoo build, but it is also like a self-damage type of Warlock build. With a top end, usually in Zoo, it's been Hand of Gul'dan, but I included Flesh Giants also because over the course of the game, you are damaging yourself quite a bit with hero powers and, like, for instance, Raise Dead and stuff like that. So the Flesh Giant will get cheap really quickly, and that's why I settled on that one instead of the Sea Giant. Sea Giant reduces its mana cost according to how many minions you have on the board, and for Zoo that's usually a good thing, but you might be playing from behind, and you can then drop a cheap or free Flesh Giant on the board when you're in the later stages of the game. But you do need to manage some different resources, and for resources I'm thinking about the board state. You really need to be on the board for a Zoo deck to actually work. You want to also manage your life total, because you are really using that as a resource, either to replenish your hand or to generate resources from Raise Dead and stuff like that. But for the mulligan in the initial stages, what you really want to be doing is that you want to almost always do a full mulligan, because what you want to be aiming for is either Imprisoned Scrap Imp or Hand of Gul'dan, because that's kind of a Hand of Gul'dan, that's kind of a free replenish resources kind of approach. And even if you have the other pieces, for instance, you have your Expired Merchants, which is the part of getting a bunch of free resources, or your Nightshade Matrons, then you still want to mulligan those away if you don't have the Hand of Gul'dan. You can keep it either or if you do have a Hand of Gul'dan, but if you don't, then there's 4 cards you can draw, which lets you do a discard of Hand of Gul'dan, even 2 more if you count Soulfires. So what you want to do is you want to really mulligan for the one that is a little bit harder to get, instead of trying to keep one and say, yeah, one of the 2 cards I'll draw into those. That's more unlikely than having those like 3 or 4 cards that you can throw into the deck, and then you have a chance of actually drawing that. But you can even disregard that game plan just a little bit if you do have the Imprisoned Scrap Imp, because that'll generate a really strong hand. So either you can coin the Imprisoned Scrap Imp if you do have some good minions in the hand, or you wait until turn 2 and then you tap, or you might be able to refill your hand with a Hand of Gul'dan. That's something you have to consider when you get to the specifics of that match when you're in it. Other than that, it's not. It's rather straightforward. It is not that complex. You want to be on the board, and it's through the board pressure that you win. But just having this self-damage package is really powerful. Dark Glare is a really powerful card in here, because each and every turn, if you have this on the board, just doing a tap for 2 mana, getting a resource, well, it refreshes the 2 mana crystals that you just spent generating a card or drawing a card from your hand. But other than that, you can do a net positive on the mana. You can't go above the mana that you have because it's refreshing the mana, but dropping a Flame Imp for 1 mana will get you 2 mana. Raise that for 0 mana will get you 2 mana. So this, in combination with some of the other cards that damage yourself, will allow you to just burst resources on the board. Also having, for instance, a Nephesed Thresher out there, and then you drop a Dark Glare afterwards, that will also generate you some resources. And it works quite well with Deceased Vulture. So definitely really powerful. There's no legendaries in here, but there's a bunch of epics, and that makes it a little bit more expensive. So be careful about, in the initial stages of this this expansion, crafting stuff. But if you do have stuff like this, or if you have tried a Zoolock before, then you can try it out. I think that was kind of the main gist of it. Gist of the deck. I will leave a deck code for this specific build. It was performing really well before the expansion, like 90% of the cards in here was in the very top of top 1000 legend. This has had an addition of several cards from the new expansion, of course, but that's, in my perspective, just made it stronger as it is right now. But try it out if you have it, and we will jump into some gameplay video. Alright, let's see.
Gul'dan versus
Just Shaman. Which kind of Shamans have I seen? I've seen Totem. I think I want to do a full mulligan for Hand of Gul'dan.
You here for the tour?
Yep. That is Totem. And unfortunately, that's a rather quick start.
I can't move.
Totem Reflection is not yet, but
Overcharged and ready to fight.
Hey, I got you, friend.
That's an upgrade.
finish that one off.
Hey, I got you, friend.
Plus, there's a real significant threat behind Bloodlust. Totem Reflection, yeah. do this first.
little agony
It's going to
goes
be
a
okay.
long way.
I'll do this. I can't get a value trait. I'm probably gonna sacrifice my flesh giant. I just really have to get the totem shaman off the board.
This
Okay, it's an even more aggressive build than.
here for the tour.
Okay, that leaves 2. That's actually just fine. But this one I can do a free tap. And I did this. And then I'll raise that. Long on. Then we can
Hey, I got you,
go
friend.
like this.
See the end!
Get rid of that one, and this one grows. Let's get rid of that one. Might be taking this back. Trick totem, that's like there's a high reward behind it, but 25% of the time it's gonna backfire. Like 25%, something like that. Alright, let's see. Probably want to tap. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give that one more life. I'm getting the flesh giant into the expired merchant. That's actually quite okay. Oops, this one first.
Why do you
Hey, I got you, friend.
And I need to get rid of the totems.
see the end?
That's a given. And that one can take care of those two, so I'll get rid of the one. Some more health. This is really the game plan with Totem Shaman. You know you want to clear the board. Okay. Animate broomstick. Okay.
Wanna bite?
We can do this. And we'll rush it. And run that one.
It's going to be okay.
We will keep White Walker healthy.
That's scrappy.
There we go. Give a bunch of damage. Then I think we got him sorted.
Overcharged and
15, 20, 23, yeah, 25.
Could you repeat that?
Could you repeat that?
I'll write that down.
And that's fine. We got lethal, boys. Really about the Totem Shaman. Do whatever we can control the board. Because the build as it is right now. Alright. Oh, I was actually playing one against one in my friends list. Alright, cool.
This ends now. Your soul shall be mine.
Alright, this is gonna be the toughest matchup for this deck. That's what. If it's the Tempo Demon Hunter, which is the usual encounter that you will have, then this one is going to be a rather tough match. So here, I really want to do the best I can to control the board, not consider too much the alright. The board build. Trying to get the Hand of Guldans and whatnot.
That's an upgrade. Probably.
Step up.
I'll do a full trade. I'll see if I can do something with Raise Dead instead of just playing it now. For instance, with Dark Glare.
You have to read this one. Hey, I got you, friend.
Alright, I'll still be able to finish it. It's Voracious Reader is definitely used a lot in the aggressive builds. Alright, maybe I can actually. What do I want to remove? I think I just want to remove one of these. I think it's actually better to do this, because this one will get me a Guardian Orc Merchant.
That's an upgrade. Probably.
And then I'll need to fight for board. Soul Fragments. Okay. This is a new take on the archetype. Interesting.
Hey, I
I'll
got
do
you.
this. I want to save it. I think the battle cry is worth enough. I can rush some minions that I want to keep it in hand. Ooh. I'll probably need to play something now. It's kind of the wrong order. I'll do this. I need to clear it.
It's going to be okay.
I can't take 6 face damage. Okay.
Alas, poor Warlock.
See what he plays. How does that work in combination? Voracious Reader and that one? Must be a real aggressive build. It also seems like it is. 2, 3 and 2. Gonna get 2 back. It's gonna be 3, and then I can drop the Flesh Giant. It's gonna be a bit tough, but I think this is the way to do it. There we go.
Alas, poor Warlock.
Wow. He's just rushing through the deck. I think I put up a good fight, but this is
Burn away.
probably done. Beast Vulture. Okay, let's see what we draw.
Don't. It's still good.
That lets me clear one of these. It's 5, 6, 7, 8. I can see 8 points of damage. I don't have a taunt. 9, right? 1, 3, 6, 7, 8. 9. 1, 2, 5, 8, 9, 10. Even that's... White Walker? Does that get me there? Like 3, 5, 6, 7. No, almost. There's lethal on the board, so no reason.
You win this time.
Alright guys, so the sky is not the limit for the deck. There are weak matchups for it, but I definitely think this is worth a climb right now. But that's again how you expected it would be in the start of a new expansion. Sue is definitely great. But be a little bit cautious about crafting too many of this, because it seems like from where you do stats aggregation or win rates and stuff like that, it doesn't seem like Sue is in a great spot. But this exact build that I have here, this Pain Warlock or Sue playstyle, that's not really what I see as the top of the lists that's there. So this might be a fringe case where you actually have something that does work, but I have had good results with this. And if you don't need to craft cards, I think you should give it a spin. But there's a few things that you have to be really careful about while playing this, but I hope some of the gameplay has provided you with some indication on that. But I think that's it, and thanks for watching, guys.